Hi guys, hey, this is Chef Frank Murphy at North Bend High School, and another video in our series. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about fish. I've got two nice fish here. This was donated by Chuck's Seafood out there in Charleston. Thank you very much for those guys. And the black rockfish and a small ling cod, just perfect for us. So if you're going out to get some fish, or how do you look after it? We'll just talk about that a little bit, and then I'll go and fillet these up and finish off cooking up a little bit of it. So I'm kind of lucky. I've got a container here. One sits inside the other, and the bottom container has, the top container has holes in it, so the ice is able to just drain down into this bottom container. You know, the fish is already dead, and we don't want to go and drown it again. So you want to not have it lying in water and stuff. You want to look after the fish, and ice is one of the best things to do. This is a kind of a crushed ice, nice and small particles, and it will stay. But whatever you have, that's what you want to do. Of course, keep it refrigerated. Now, so let's say you go into a store and you want to buy fish, and you're kind of looking around. You see a piece of fish that you like. How are you going to tell that it's nice and fresh and stuff? You know, the best thing to do is if you can see the whole fish, and I'll lift this guy up here a bit, and we want to treat them gently too. We don't want to throw them around. They're just going to bruise up the flesh and break it and stuff. So first off, the skin needs to be moist. If it's dried, that's not good. So you want to have that moist and kind of that feel of the ocean on there, and the smell should not smell like fish. Fresh fish has very little smell. It should smell nice and fresh. The eyes should be full and not kind of down. You know, you can see it here. They're nice and full. They're not shrunken into the head or anything. And you kind of look over the body and make sure that there's no gashes and stuff like that. You see, you just want to treat it nice and gently. As for salmon and stuff like that, sometimes you see people thrown around by the tails or the heads and stuff. You know, just treat it gently. You're just going to keep that flesh the best. What else am I going to look for? Well, I said you want to smell it fresh. The other thing to do, and this is what I do, when I walk into fishmongers or fish store or anywhere smelling fish, I want to walk in, I want to smell it being fresh. The store should be fresh. There shouldn't be that stale fish smell in there. The other thing that you don't want to be smelling is lots of bleach, because sometimes less scrupulous places will kind of use some bleach water and kind of dip the fish in, and it'll kind of make it look fresher and kind of take away any smell and stuff. So if you pick up a piece of fish, you see a piece of fish, and you get a whiff of a bleachy smell, don't bother with it. So you're looking for nice eyes to be nice and bright. You can see this here. You want to have that sea slime kind of a feel on it. It should not be dry, and it should just look and smell fresh. I'll put that guy back in there, and we got the ling cod here. And you can see again, look, his eyes are nice and bright, the skin is looking good, and the fish is all moist. And this just came in, so just perfect here. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I want to fillet them. So let's just move this over to the side here. If you don't have a tray that has holes in it and stuff, you know, you can put the fish into a plastic bag or something and put your ice around it. But just make sure that the water doesn't get into the bag. Just, you know, if you use your head, you can work something out. And then, of course, if it's fresh, use it quickly. Don't let it sit around. Fillet it up. If you're going to freeze it, you can freeze it flat on a tray. Some people like to dip them into some water and stuff and then freeze them up. I just put them on a tray, let them freeze, and then put them into a Ziploc bag, or if I have a backpacker, backpack it, and then put it back in my freezer to keep it. But nice and flat on a tray will freeze the quickest. That's what you really need to do. So one of the things about doing fish is obviously you're going to have to keep washing your hands as normal. But so let's start with this guy, this little black rockfish here. I have my filleting knife, got the flexible blade on it. I want to make sure that I have a good edge. And pretty easy. You're just going to come in and you want to go up into the head area there. Just kind of work your way around the little bone there. You try not to leave meat on the carcass. You know, it's spendy enough and you want to be able to use the whole thing. So I've got that nice up there. I'm a little rusty at filleting fish. It's been quite a while. Back when I would have been working in hotels and stuff, we did a lot of fish filleting. So I'm just following the backbone here, and try and make it so you guys can see there. And I keep my blade running against the bone. That way it doesn't go up into the flesh and give myself little cuts and stuff in there. Okay. So just follow the bone. Now, there are many different ways of filleting fish. Some people will like to use one of those electric knives and stuff, and they just cut right through the bone and then go in afterwards and clean it up. I just like to follow the bone. I guess it was probably just the way I was trained, so I'm kind of used to doing it that way. And I'm just working away here around the rib cage. There we go. This piece is almost. I'll come down here. And I'm just going to put on this tray here. And of course, all the time you want to be keeping your fish nice and cold. Okay. Now on this side, again, I'm just going to reach in underneath the bone there. And you want to be careful too. Some fish have quite sharp fins at the edges on them here, and even around the gills here. We used to have a fish at home. We used to call it. It was a sea bass, and it would take the hands off you. So I'm just going to work around here like this. And I'm sure there's plenty of you guys out there that are going, oh my God, he's going so slow on it. But I'm just taking my time today. Getting right up in there. And I'm sure if I was working out there and Chucks, they'd be shouting at me, come on, you got to do faster. Okay. A little bit there. And I got my 2 fillets. I can use the body here for some stock. Maybe take off some of the skin there, because sometimes that can kind of make your stock a little bit funky. But yeah, just kind of simmer it up with some veggies and stuff, and it will be good to go. And then I'm just going to do the same with the ling cod here. Okay, I've got a fillet off of the ling cod here. So I'm just going to go in and just kind of trim up, take a little bit of that fin off there. Just work my way. And again, be really careful. You don't want to lose any of the meat, okay? Sometimes I go down to you know, along where in Charleston or where people bring up their boats and stuff, and especially when the salmon is going, and you're kind of watching, and you watch people and they're filleting up the salmon, and a lot of people will do it great, and then you'll have people that will just kind of hack at it, and they'll throw away half of the meat, you know, the belly meat and all that sort of stuff, and that's just a shame, you know. Look, you got to treat the fish with some respect. Okay, so I got that one's kind of nicely trimmed up on that side, and I'll have a look at this one here. And just a little bit there. What I'm doing, I'm just feeling for little bits of bone. I know that we have a line going down here, but I want to make sure that I don't have anything. See, there's one there. Any little surprises there, you know, that we would do a nice dish with them and find a piece of bone that somebody wasn't expecting. And that looks good. We've got the rockfish here. We'll just kind of check on that there. A little bit of trim here. And just a little bit here. A stubborn piece of bone there. Just want to. There we go. And we'll go along here. Take this little fin off. Oops. Got a little bit more up here. And just trying to take as little as I can. There we go. Just a little tiny bit there. We'll put it up onto our tray. And try to work as cleanly as possible too. I don't want to have fish all over my countertop. Or all over myself. I'll just go in here, take these guys out. Oops. Another one. You know, people often ask me what do I like to do cooking-wise, and actually, tell you the truth, it's fish. I do like to cook fish. So I think what I would like to do now is to remove the skin on these guys. Pretty easy. You're just going to go to the back here, cut down just a little bit, and get your knife down right onto the skin. Slightly angled, so it's not going to pop up and cut the flesh. And just let it slide along. And you'll see that it'll come off just nice and easy. Okay. There we go, and we've got the skin. And hopefully we didn't leave any flesh on there. We'll do the same with this piece. And you'll see again, right up underneath there. A little tip here, if the skin is very slippy and you just kind of can't hold on to it, grab a little bit of salt between your fingers and just put it on there, and the salt will act like a little abrasive and kind of help you hold on to the skin and stuff. So we got those, and then we'll go ahead and do the same, I think, with the ling. Get my knife right up underneath there. Knife has to be sharp, okay? Again, angling it down towards the skin. I think you didn't do too bad of a job there. I'll put this guy back up here. And we get the last one. And this looks just really nice, this fish here. go. Again, I didn't lose too much of the skills. Just going to take that little bit off there. There we go. Again, as I'm moving it around, I'm supporting the flesh. Okay. Now, if I wasn't going to use this until a bit later on, I would make sure that I ice it back down again. Use the same tray as I have. Get it cold, get it back into your refrigerator. Fish does not like to be left out at room temperature and stuff like that. It just will lose that freshness very quick. So I think what we'll do here is just maybe portion this piece out a little bit. Now, you can just cut straight down, or we would call those darns. Or what I always like to do is cut at a slight angle. Now, we used to have a little nickname on this, and it was really getting some plate coverage. Because when you cut at a slight angle, that piece of fish looks bigger. You may have the same weight-wise as a piece that was just cut straight down, but when you cover it at a slight angle, it will cover more of the plate, and it will look bigger. So a little trick from the restaurants there. I think I'll just take this little bit of bone out here. I missed that. There we go. So I'm going to put these guys back on my tray here. Again, treating it gently, and there we have some fish cut up. Next stage will be to cook it, so keep watching, and we'll just do a very simple dish with a bit of this fish, okay? So thank you very much.